All right. So welcome to the October 2019 ILOI decision meeting for the Kingdom of Meridies. I am the Honorable Lord Ulrich Eisenhand, Pen and Herald for the Kingdom of Meridies. And I have a number of commenters here in chat with me today as we go through this month's letter. So I'm going to ask everyone to introduce themselves. I'm going to go according to who's where on my screen. And so we're going to start off with Mistress Bronwyn.
Greetings, I'm Mistress Bronwyn Ogedwele, the White Antelope Herald. I'm a freelance commenter and deputy herald for the Shire of Salthaven.
All right, so next up is going to be Finna.
Hi, I'm Thorfinna. I'm the herald for the Barony of Gladenfeld.
All right, thank you. Next up, we're going to have Zara, now that she's in the middle of yawning.
Gee, thanks. Sarah Algonatia, Torch, Clerk, Herald at Large. I kind of I kind of become the stand-in herald for all the Indian names.
And we love you for it.
Hey!
All right, next up is Catalin.
I am Catalin Wynn. I am Lambeth Herald, Herald for Commentary, and also local herald for the Shire of Fourth Castle.
Okay, Lucien.
I'm Lucien d'Artois. I am the Deputy Cipher Herald and the Red Raven Pursuivant for the Barony of South Downs.
All right, Mistress Flonnet.
Hello, I am Flonnet Mehaney, Beacon Principal Herald. Welcome to our meeting. Please join us in the chat that's off the side. And hope you enjoyed tonight's meeting. We've got a lot to get through.
All right, Meister Guntram.
Yes, I'm Guntram von Kern. I am Spark 2, the Resurrection. So I'm Flonnet's flunky.
All right, Josephine, are you there? You don't have to say anything if you don't want to. We are going to assume that Josephine has stepped away or is just not wanting to introduce herself to the internet. And then finally we have Adelaide.
Hello, I am Adelaide Colette de Montferrer, Herald at Large, residing out of Barony of Iron Mountain.
Soon to be Mistress Adelaide.
Mm-hmm.
Which we are all very excited about in the Meridian College of Heralds.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
All right, so we are going to go ahead and dive right in, starting with item number 1. Adair Wren, new name and new device. Start off with the name. Both names documented to family search. Adair is a little bit past gray period, but I think Pantheon grabbed one that will work.
Yeah, she did.
Surname is given name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because not only was it past post-period, but it was also Irish. So she grabbed an English site that was in period. So that one should be. And it's a little bit different spelling. It's without the terminal E.
But the name elements are within 100 years of each other and both English.
Well,
So
150 roughly.
Well, I mean, if we were to use the by name as documented,
1587 to 1590.
now if we use the one that the submitter provided for Wren, that's 1587 to 1590.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at the one that was provided.
Yeah, the one that Pantheon provided one at 1446.
Mm-hmm.
But the one that was provided by the submitter is a C batch, which I do believe is okay.
It is.
So you're talking 3 years different. So
Yeah, so that should be fine.
So we will use Pantheon's documentation. I will contact the submitter and make sure that they are okay with using with changing the name to drop the E. Let me check in Dropbox real quick.
it's not going to affect the pronunciation, though. So
Right.
it should be a minor change.
I'm gonna check. Yeah, they don't have any of the check boxes of Doom checked, so
excellent.
we can make that minor change. But I still want to contact them, let them know. But yeah, so we're going to advance the name with Pantheon's docs.
Thank you, Pantheon.
Yes.
Moving along. Excuse me. Moving along to the device. Vert, a bird close on a chief and argent, a bow festwise azure. If I remember correctly,
Festwise is going to be by default. Close is default, yes. And Festwise for the bow would be default.
Yes, as Iago pointed out.
Mm-hmm.
So the blazon will be vert, a bird on a chief and argent, a bow azure. I'm assuming we didn't find any conflicts. Kurt and Bronwyn both commented no conflicts found.
No.
Anyone else find any issue with it?
I was kind of surprised, but I didn't find anything.
Now and then, simple ones like that will surprise us.
Yeah, I actually had one of those this past weekend at War of the Wings. It was Sable, a sea wolf rampant Conturney ore.
Wow.
We had to make it Conturney so it would clear conflict.
But still.
Just a sea wolf Conturney ore on a Sable field. Yeah.
Really
Clear
simple.
conflict.
Well, there's probably a lot more simple devices out there than you think, because a lot of people want to have complex heraldry.
Yeah. All right. So name is good. Device is good. We are going to send both of those up. Moving on to item number 2, Adelaide of Iron Mountain. New badge. Fieldless, a winged key argent. Looks clear of conflict. Anyone else find any issues with it?
Nope.
The key's a little bit crooked. But other than that, that's my OCD kicking in.
All right, so we're going to call that one good and send it up. Moving along to item number 3, also Adelaide of Iron Mountain. Another badge. Excuse me. Azure ostensibly, a Pegasus Segriant Conturney Argent.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's another one that was kind of a surprise.
All right. So it appears that we are clear of conflict on that too. Did anyone else find any issues with it?
No, I found a lot of things that were two DCs away. I mean, a really lot, but nothing that was closer. So
okay, good.
Well, that's good, because if you found something that was closer, it would be a conflict.
Thank you for pointing that out, Lucian.
Hey, I'm here to help.
Yes, I know.
Evening, Cypher.
It's evening,
Hey,
Kurt.
sweetheart.
Hello, everybody.
Howdy, howdy. So we have just finished item number 3. All right, so moving along to item number 4. Honora Karlsdottir, new name and new device.
I thought that when I originally documented this that I got Honora from Gear Bassi, but that wasn't what was included on the thing. So Gear Bassi is probably a better documentation for Honora, and that way she can have it either with or without the accents.
Okay.
I don't know which she prefers. What did she have on the paperwork?
Let me look.
Plus, it's Arnora, too.
She has accents on the patronymic.
We might need to add them to. I don't think she's going to mind adding them to the given name, but you know she might want to drop both. I have no idea. Either way would work.
With accent marks, and especially in this case, Arnora does not have any in the documented version that she's citing.
Right,
so
but
we don't need to put them because they don't exist in that document.
Except I believe that they said Honora from that source was dated to 1403, whereas Carl is dated to 900s. So if you go back and document Arnora from Gerbasi, you get 900s. It just has an accent. So temporally, it's more compatible.
Right, but is it spelled the same?
Yes, it just has an accent.
I
believe it. Yes.
It's spelled the same except for the accent.
Except for the accent.
Yeah.
It's in the comments.
Yeah, Gunvor found it in the Landnam book.
Yes.
Landnam book. 10th century, Icelandic.
There you go. Yep.
So I will contact the submitter and see if she wants to have accents through the whole thing or accents removed for the whole thing. But using the new documentation, that should be good, and we can send it up.
Excellent.
All right, moving along to the device. Argent, a peacock pavinated to sinister, perched upon a cherry branch, bendwise sinister proper, flowered gules.
That was just an attempt at the blazon because I wasn't sure about it, but apparently this is default for the peacock, so the posture doesn't need to be specified. And I think pavinated has the tail spread and behind it anyway, down dragging the ground. So.
Okay. Yeah.
So it would be more Argent.
This is much to our chagrin, and Belfour's the default posture. This is actually the default posture for a peacock. Got close.
So Argent,
I like Iago's.
Yeah.
So, which is Argent, a peacock conturny perched upon a charted, bendwise, sinister, proper, flowered gules.
That works.
All right. Anyone find any issues with this? I got a no conflict from Bronwyn. Anyone else find any issues with it?
Well,
No.
there's a comment on the branch, and I agree with that. It should be, I like the blazon that Iago has at the end.
I do too.
Okay. So we're going to call the device good, We're going to use Iago's reblazon, and we're going to send it up. Moving on to number 5, Ilisant of Axbridge. New name and new device, starting off with the name.
Pantheon went back and summarized the documentation, which is good.
Yes.
And 1100 and 1190 and 1084
Yeah, that should
are
be all
typically
right.
fine, both English.
And Lingua Societatis to get the modern spelling.
Yes.
All right. So if we don't have any conflicts or any other issues with the name, we're going to call it good. We're going to use Pantheon's citation of the documentation and send it up. Moving along to the device. Azure, 3 piles in point inverted or between 2 Bowen crosses argent.
That sounds good.
Gerard commented and said, proposed the reblazon Azure, 3 piles inverted in point or between 2 Bowen crosses argent.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So do we have any issues with the device? Any conflicts?
I didn't find any.
All right. In that case, we are going to call it good and send it up. Moving along to item number 6. Isabet Borgeske. It's Hungarian, so
Well, Hungarian, they frequently put the given name last. So I'm not sure what.
Kolosvari, the commenter.
Yeah, Julia.
Went into a bit of detail on this.
Yeah, Julia is an expert on Hungarian, so.
Okay.
I'm glad we have one of those.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she and her sister have been doing Hungarian names for years. Yeah, she seems to have more of a problem with the locative.
Okay, so basically, I see where she's going.
Well, she summarizes at the bottom by saying either Elizabeth Gaethje or Gekli Erspet. Yes.
Yeah, Erspet, yeah.
The second one would be more authentic to Hungarian.
Correct.
All right, so I will contact the submitter with those options. I'm going to pen this for now until I hear back from the submitter.
Also, you might want to, because the submitter's maiden name is close to what she's wanting, she can use the mundane name allowance for her maiden name because it's on her birth certificate. So if she wants to use that particular spelling, that's an option.
Yeah, her maiden name is the same as the name she's requesting. And
all right, so I will include that in the options whenever I contact the submitter.
Okay.
She does request authenticity, though.
Yes, and it's not summarized as to what it is. So authenticity to what?
I'm pretty sure she means Hungarian, but what century?
Yeah,
I don't know.
there's-
When
Correct.
when it goes up to the Pelican, they're going to need to know
No, we
what
might have
the
to find that.
authenticity request is.
We might need to find that out.
It's checked off language and or culture, but
Not
it
specified
is
though.
specified.
Self-Hungarian.
And it
I
also
will-
says that language is most important, but culture is most important. They can't both be the most important.
Right.
Well, that's
Lots of
because it
people
is-
check more
it
than
is
one box.
checkbox on the form and 2 checkboxes in Oscar.
Yep.
Yeah, language and or culture is 1 checkbox on the form.
Maybe we should change the form. Oh, what?
That was your outside voice.
That was.
Well, honestly, like I said, if she can have the meaning she wants and she can get it through the documentation or her mundane name allowance, either way, she's getting the authentic Hungarian
Right.
meaning there. So
Okay. So I will contact the submitter. I'm going to pen this for now. And contact the submitter with options for what we can do, and I will wait until I hear back from her before I advance anything.
Sounds good.
All right. Next up is the first in a long series of orders and badges for the Barony of Iron Mountain.
And I want to apologize. I meant to go back and comment on all of these and didn't. When I went through the first time, I skipped over them.
That's all right. I didn't have time to comment on them either.
So real life was a big thing this month.
Yes, for a lot of us.
I am currently explaining to my husband that we have no water in the house and I don't know why.
Oh my God.
In terms of plumbing, I spent the last 3 nights trying to fix a leaking toilet.
Oh,
not
yeah.
mine. Which would
Not
have
yours.
made it a whole lot
Okay.
easier. It would have made it a whole lot easier if it was mine.
Yeah.
But it's not mine, so I have to wait until she is able to let me in the house to fix things. And it's a 75-year-old house that was shoddily built 75 years ago.
Ouch.
To the point
Not
of
good.
the
Not
toilet was
fun.
mounted directly to the floor.
Wonderful.
Seems legit.
Yeah, and it just got better from there. But I am diverting from what we're doing. So let's get back on topic.
Yes.
So item number 7, Barony of Iron Mountain, or new order name and new badge for the Company of the Axe and Arrow.
The name sounds fine.
Okay, so Gerard did ask to make sure that this badge was supposed to go with that particular name, and Adelaide commented to say, yes, this is the badge for this name, just to make sure that everything got paired together correctly.
He probably asked because there's no axe or arrow on it.
Right.
Yes. It's a hunting horn, it looks like. Yeah.
Yes. So the name, order of 2 heraldic charges pattern found in Alice's simple guide to naming awards and orders.
Right.
Company's improved designator per Appendix E. Axe and arrow are both heraldic charges according to the pick deck. So
Yes.
everything appears to be in order. I don't think we have any conflicts with the name.
I just checked and I did not see any.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good,
that was
thank
a
you.
fun one to conflict check because it was check arrow, check axe. Nothing in combination. Okay.
All right.
Well, the name looks good then.
Okay, so name is good. Moving on to the badge. Fieldless on a mountain cooped ghouls, a hunting horn argent.
I would be very surprised if there were any conflicts. Let's see.
I have a feeling that you're not going to have a whole lot of cooped mountain ghouls.
Charged and charged, yeah.
Yeah.
With
Well-
the hunting horn, because it has to be that
Well,
or it
Helena
doesn't
didn't-
conflict.
Yeah, Helena didn't find any conflicts.
All right. So I think we are good.
Yep.
So that order name and badge will be going up. Moving on to item number 8.
Now, the order name is already registered for this one, right? Order of the Argent Dragon?
No.
No.
It says
Then
it finds the, it may,
the Barony of Iron Mountain is
Mountain's
already
registered.
registered.
Okay.
Yes.
Not the order name.
Okay.
All right.
It says
so,
that for every one of them.
So item number 8.
Yeah.
Order of the Argent Dragon.
That would be one of those names that I would suspect would have a high chance of conflict, but as I said, I haven't checked it.
The only one that I saw was White Dragon Pursuit.
Is there a White Dragon pursuivant?
Yeah, an Antier.
Okay. Do different terms that mean the same color clear conflict with each
I
other?
think they do.
They took off conflicting for meaning a few years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So as long as it doesn't sound the same, then it's different.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't
Correct.
sound the same and look the same, and it doesn't in this
Okay.
case.
Good. And so I just got a notification from Zoom on my computer that they have removed the 40-minute timer for this meeting.
Wow.
Yay!
Thanks,
Look.
Zoom.
Gift from Zoom.
Thank you,
I guess
Zoom.
because this is the first meeting that we are hosting on the Meridies Herald's Zoom account.
Okay. Yay!
So that's my guess. I don't know for sure. All I know is that we don't have a 40-minute timer tonight. So
Woohoo!
So that's a way we can get around the 40-minute thing is we just create a new account every time we have a meeting.
Or we just
Thank you.
never end this meeting.
Well, you want to do that.
No.
Nah. Okay.
It'll be great.
So, the name appears to be good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to send it up. So going on to the badge. Fieldless on a mountain cooped ghouls, a dragon argent. Helena found no conflicts. I'm going to suspect that we're not going to find a whole lot in the line of conflicts.
Again, we're going with a fieldless badge with a cooped red mountain.
Uh-huh.
So that would be a very unusual thing, especially a charged cooped red mountain. So
I see a bunch of those.
all on mountain though.
Mm-hmm.
But the secondary
When you find
charges
something
are all
that
different.
works,
Yes. Exactly. Woohoo!
yeah, when you find something that works, you
Stick with it.
modify it the least amount that you can.
Yeah.
So what are we doing with this one, Pennon?
Kick it back.
Let's see here. Just sorry. So we've got there are 5 cooped ghouls mountains on registered on the ONA. So we got a wolf's head within a laurel wreath, fox's head. Let's see here, a wyvern erect conturny argent.
Okay, that's clear of the dragon and the.
Because it's conturning.
Yeah.
Yes, it's conturny, and this one has a field, so field versus fieldless.
Yep.
Should be
That
fine.
clears it.
That one's got a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, so as long as we don't have a wolf's head or a fox's head, we should be okay.
We do not for any of the other ones.
No, we don't.
pending.
Hooray!
Yeah.
All right. So the badge, good. We're going to send it up.
Okay.
Moving on to item number 9, Iron Mountain, Barony of. New order name and new badge. So,
Argent
Order
Unicorn.
of Argent Unicorn. Order of heraldic color plus heraldic charge pattern. Found analysis, simple guide to naming awards and orders. Argent is a standard heraldic tincture. Unicorn is a charge found in the pick deck.
As long as
All
it's
that
not a
appears-
conflict, it's properly
Name
formed.
The name appears clear.
Okay.
Excellent.
All right, so if the name appears good, then we are going to send it up. Moving on to the badge.
The badge should
on a
badge.
mountain cooped ghouls, a demi-unicorn erect argent. Iago points out that demi-creatures are rampant / erect by default. So he proposes the blazing fieldless on a mountain cooped ghouls, a demi-unicorn argent.
Yep, and that's stated in the one of the appendixes.
And we already know that this is
Lost
clear because
figure.
we've already checked.
Yep, we have essentially conflict checked all of these that are on a red mountain.
Mm-hmm.
So that looks good. So we are going to send that one up. On to item number 10, Barony of Iron Mountain. New order name and new badge. The Order of the Gray Wolf. The ordinary color names can be used in place of heraldic color names. Proposing gray is acceptable in the place of silver or white. With documentation for gray. So that appears to be good in the construction. Did we find any conflicts or issues with the name?
Looks clear on both spellings of gray.
All right.
Excellent.
So then the name is good. We will send it up. Moving on to the badge.
We have
Fearless on a mountain cooped ghouls, a demi-wolf erect argent.
Again, we have the demi creatures.
Yeah, same comment as on the last one.
Yep.
Demi creatures are rampant or erect by default. So on a mountain cooped ghouls, a demi-wolf argent.
Yes.
All right. So the badge is good. We're going to send it up. Moving on to item number 11. Barony of Iron Mountain. New order name and new badge. Order of the Sable Axe. Sable is standard heraldic tincture. Axe is found in the pick deck. Any issues with the name?
Fix the URL. It pasted weird.
Uh-oh.
All right. Fix the URL. Otherwise, the name is good. Moving on to the badge. Fieldless on a mountain couped argent. A battle axe reversed sable.
Oh, hold on a second about the name. Kingdom of Avacol has Order of the Sable Axe,
Oh,
registered in 2014.
that's a definite problem.
Yep. That
Ad of Iron Mountain.
Yeah.
Of Iron Mountain.
Sable Axe of Iron
Order of
Mountain.
the Sable Axe of Iron Mountain. Yeah.
Yep.
That would do it. Will they have to change their letter of support?
I don't.
The letters of support for the order names and badges are a kingdom thing. They, as far as I'm aware, they don't go up to the, so.
Yeah, only group badges, group names, the group devices, group names, and orders and armory registered to the kingdom have to have petitions that go up to Laurel.
I just wanted to make sure that we had that covered.
Yeah. Yeah, these petitions are for use in Kingdom. We don't need them for society.
They're basically just to make sure that somebody is not registering stuff on behalf of groups that the populace didn't agree to. I don't think the populace is going to have an issue with you adding of Iron Mountain to this because of the fact that it conflicts with something else.
Let me.
I strongly doubt it.
So let me this real quick. Form. Am I going to assume, Adelaide, that as the consulting herald, you have the power to make this decision, or do I have to go through the seneschal and or the Baron Baroness to get permission for this?
I will assume that as the consulting herald that has worked with the Baron, Baroness, Seneschal, all of them, and everyone in our polling agreed to everything, I am going to assume that I'm good to speak for it.
Right. I will send an email if you can get me. Are the email addresses for the Seneschal and their excellencies on the Iron Mountain webpage?
Yes.
Okay, I will send them an email letting them know that we are adding that.
Yeah.
And that you, as the consulting herald, have already approved it, so they don't actually have to do anything, just to keep them in the know.
Yes.
Okay. So we will add of Iron Mountain to clear conflict. And then we will advance that one. Moving on
advancing the name, right? Or is the badge
clear?
That's advancing the name, correct?
That
is advancing the name. So we're gonna. I read off the blazon for the badge, but we haven't actually commented on it yet. So it is fieldless on a mountain couped argent, a battle axe reversed sable. Hilarina found no conflicts. I looking here.
This looks an awful lot like a silver mountain and not an iron mountain.
Well, when you want the sable axe, you kind of have to do what you have to do.
Yeah.
It looks closer than it would with a gold mountain.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Especially since the Iron Mountain colors don't have any gold in them that I'm aware of.
So
Nope. Red, white, black, a little bit of green.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, 1980.
we're going to be clear of. See, we got fieldless on a mountain of 3 peaks, couped argent, a decrescent sable. We're going to get a DC for type and a DC for the fieldless.
Fields, yep.
Okay.
That's clear.
That's the closest I'm finding.
Okay, well, that's definitely clear of that.
All right, so
Change of type of tertiary and fieldless bribe, get it,
Yep.
even without anything else.
All right. So we're going to call that badge good and send it up. Moving along to item number 12, Barony of Iron Mountain, new order name and new badge. Starting off with the name Order of Ulrich's Moonstone. I like it. We're advancing it.
Do you need a moonstone?
Only slightly prejudiced, right?
Only a little bit. I like the name. Yeah. Order of Saints Object pattern. Ulrich, documented as a German name.
No.
What?
German, you.
And then documentation provided for Moonstone. So, documentation appears to be in order. Did we find any issues with the name itself?
No,
No,
All right.
wasn't expecting to either, but
no. So we not only get the fieldless bribe on the badge, we also get the pin and bribe on the name, right?
So if I advance this, that means I get one, right?
You'll have to talk to Bjorn and Genevieve about
Yeah,
that.
really.
Or the new Baron and Baroness.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
All right. So we're going to call that name good and send it up. Moving along to the badge. Fieldless on a mountain cooped ghouls, a moon in her plentitude, argent.
We know that's clear.
The moon in her plentitude is not a wolf's head or a fox head.
Uh-huh.
So it's not going to conflict with anything. So
Good to
Although
know.
wolves do howl at the moon.
Okay.
Thank you for
That
pointing
is
that out. Yes.
good. And we are send both of those up. All right, moving on to item number 13, Barony of Iron Mountain, new heraldic title.
Okay.
Ooh.
Changing things up a little bit. Sanguine Mountain Pursuivant.
Well, they have the Order of the Sanguine Mountain, and
Which is their service
naming their herald
Yeah.
after their primary baronial award is
Yeah.
Yeah,
a pattern that we've done often enough.
Yep.
Red Raven Pursuivant being an example of that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Same
Dr.
thing
Beth.
with the, well, not with Dreamstone. They're the, oh gosh, brain fart.
Argent sheet, I want to say something
Silver
sail or
Sail
something. Silver Sail
Pursuivant.
Pursuivant, yeah.
Yep.
But then we've got Thor's Mountains is the Sable
No,
Griffin? No.
You
Yeah.
could have stopped after South Downs.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
anyway,
still.
point taken. Naming the herald after the primary baronial service award.
I mean, if the preeminent barony does it, then the other baronies, it's okay for them to do it too.
I mean, it's done in period. That's the
Yes.
more important bit.
Yeah, okay.
I was going to say, whatever South Downs does doesn't actually matter as long as it was done in period.
Well, we always come
Thank
correct
you.
in South Downs.
Okay,
Right,
children.
And
Okay, it looks good.
on top of that, the order name that they're using is already registered to the
Yes.
Baron.
Correct.
It is.
So we're going to call that one good and send it up.
Okay.
Moving along to item number 14. Barony of Iron Mountain, new badge. Fieldless, a mountain cooped per chevron inverted ghouls and sable. To be associated with the Order of the Sanguine Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I don't think that there are any, at least none that I.
If there's any precedence, is that what you're asking?
No, that's not an issue. You can take it. You can take a charge and put a field division and do 2 colors on it. That's
Okay.
not an issue.
Uh-huh.
There are no cooped mountains per anything divided.
Okay.
Registered.
So
So
that should clear that. So do we have lava pouring down? Is that what that is?
It's blood. It's a sanguine mountain.
Yeah.
All right.
Like order of Mount St. Helen.
Hey, wouldn't this be
I
a
can't help it that one of the mountains in town is called Red Mountain,
Yeah.
and it's known for its iron ore.
Uh-huh.
Makes sense to me.
Yes.
I mean,
Perfect. Fit.
it's not like Birmingham, Alabama is known for its steel foundries or anything.
Yeah, really.
Right.
I'm just saying that this
100
isn't a
years
sanguine
ago,
mountain.
yes.
This isn't a sanguine mountain.
Historically.
Say again, Travis, I didn't hear you.
Oh, I said this wasn't a sanguine mountain. This is a Crimson Peak. That's a very different film.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that would be Oakburn Keep area.
All right. So we're gonna call that one good and send it up. Moving along to item number 15. We are officially done with Iron Mountain stuff
Yay!
All right.
for now.
Well done.
All right. So item number 15, Kingdom of Meridies, new order name and new badge. Order of the Swart Signet.
What is this award for?
This is for children's
children's
A&S.
ANS.
Okay.
Hopefully this passes because they just gave one of these out.
When did they give one out?
They gave one out at Red Tower to Lorenzo's son.
Okay. I remember
That
that.
wasn't actually in the court report for Red
it-
Tower, FYI.
No, it wasn't in the court report. Wasn't that was that done at coronation?
No, it was done at Red Tower.
It was not done at coronation because I was the court herald for that.
Okay, but I'm wondering, it has to be announced in a court, and then it has to be published before it becomes official to be able to be given out.
It was only announced at coronation as an award, therefore it cannot have been awarded at Red Tower.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking.
He got a signet at Red Tower.
Yeah,
I know. I
signet,
just
sword
input
signet,
that
they're all
court report.
Thank you. Don't get.
That's coronation was what I was thinking of. That they
Yeah.
read.
Thank you.
Yep, they read it out at coronation.
Yes, but it still has to be published, hopefully in the December PC.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay, so
speed through all these court reports.
So now that Flaunet is finished having her heart attack, let's go ahead and do our
yes, please let's do due diligence. Thank you.
Swart is a color for black. Adelaide provided documentation for it.
Swarthy and yeah. So
May
the root word.
Being used as a substitute for the heraldic color sable.
Correct.
Signet is a heraldic charge in the pictic. So the construction appears to be good. If I remember the email thread correctly, we are using Swart because there is already a Sable Signet. I can't remember if it's an order or if it's a.
The Persevon over in Kite or Kingdom.
Yeah, I think it's
West,
Peggy.
It's a heraldic title.
Yep.
Okay. So we ended up
And Cipher was given the supporting docs signed by the Crown. In fact, as they were reading it in court, I ran up behind and had the herald have their majesty sign it as it was being read.
It was awesome.
So that was.
it makes it look very official when you do that.
It does.
Yes, really.
See, we're doing official things.
Yeah, look at us go. We're all official and stuff.
Really.
Yeah. All right. So I believe that we are good on the name. I trust Kurt's conflict check.
Mm-hmm, so do I.
Uh-huh.
All right. So we're going to send the order name up. Moving on to the badge. Sable on a cross Noe, a swan statent sable.
Yeah, that's my.
Iago says the
Iago
swan is
pointed out that-
close.
Yeah, I'm always misspelling Stanton, because it's standing.
But it is also close and not statent because it's a bird.
I said bird. Yes.
Ah, okay. So we have to change the
Hey, close is easier to spell.
blazon. Gotcha.
And we also have to add argent.
Oh yeah.
Because
Across
otherwise,
Noe Argent.
crosses.
Got it.
No, the cross is fieldless.
Ah.
I have to get my ruler out there, Lucian.
Yes.
Don't threaten him with a good time.
He would enjoy that way too much.
I usually got to pay extra for that.
Okay. And Ragged Staff points out that there is a step from period practice for the use of crosses Noe. But that's the only SFPP we got.
One
Okay.
is fine.
One is fine.
Yeah.
All right, so in that case, we are going to call it good and send it up.
Actually, I had a question.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just trying this out. There's a Branwyn de Grey of Tewksbury. It's quarterly azure and ghouls on a cross Noe quadrate argent, a raven sable.
Ravens and swans don't tend to conflict because they're a different body type.
They're different classifications of birds.
Yes.
We're going to get a DC
and one
for
for the
the type of
different
bird and a DC for the field.
I thought that was only in its normal posture. Is that not right? Because I mean, it's tertiary charge, so it's smaller.
Right. Is the raven in its standard posture or is it closed? Well, raven close would be a default.
Yeah, but
The
isn't
default
a
posture
swan rousing by default?
No, I don't believe. We might want to check on that.
The herald's checking.
No, most birds are closed by default except eagles, which are displayed and
Yeah, I wasn't also sure if Noe versus Noe quadrate.
The swan is rousant or rising by default, according to Miss Holm.
Okay, so he's right. Well caught.
Okay, so what postures do we have?
We have both. Is the raven closed?
Raven is close by default.
Yeah, it says a raven
Okay.
sable, so that's going to be close.
Right. Okay, so we've got two birds close and both facing the same direction, but they're different body types. But if they're both they're not in their default posture, where does that leave us? We've still got a
Well, one of them
DC for
is
the
and one
field.
isn't.
Yeah, we've still got a DC for the field, but what about the birds?
It's going to come down to body type. Like with trees, you got round trees and you have pointy trees.
Yeah.
They don't conflict. In this case, we'll have to, well, we probably won't decide if the bird.
Well, a swan and a raven are very distinctly different as far as body
Okay.
type.
That's what I was
Here we
saying.
go.
I was
Here we
thinking
go.
it'd be different enough to.
Okay, Adelaide's found something.
Appendix M for Mary. Regular shaped birds like martlets, ravens, eagles, and falcons. Swan shaped birds like swans, geese, and ducks. Those are the categories.
Okay.
So
good.
you got regular shaped
Okay.
birds, swan shaped birds, poultry shaped birds, and crane shaped birds.
So this is a different type. So we would get a DC.
So
Yeah.
I knew
Okay.
I knew that ravens and swans would be in a different category from one another. I just didn't know where the rule for that was. So thank you, Adelaide, for finding that.
Yes, really.
Yes, thank you,
Thank
Adelaide.
you.
Much
I
appreciated.
didn't know
You're
where it
welcome.
was either. Making notes.
It's on Senna, Appendix M
M.
for Mary. And I just searched for birds. So there's 19 found birds. Yeah.
Great call, Travis. Thank you.
You're
Yes.
welcome. Just want to double check, make sure.
You're hired.
Yeah, you're really.
Yeah. Good call. Good call.
We would rather be sure before we sent it
Yes.
than have it come back
Especially since.
and have it come back 4 or 5 months from now.
Yes.
All right. So we are going to send that one up. Moving along to item number 16. Michael Stagg, new name and new device. Starting
Nice,
off with the
nice
name.
cant.
13th century English names for the given name. 1332 lay subsidy rolls for Lincolnshire, England for the surname.
And once again, Pantheon has come in and nope, I guess not.
No, those are really good sources.
Yeah.
Not far apart.
I'm stepping away for a minute.
All
It
right.
just doesn't say what the source says about them, just that but since it's a 13th century English
doesn't-
name, that should cover it.
Yeah, it doesn't need to say anything because it's a dated document.
Mm-hmm.
One's from the early 13th century and one's from 1332.
True. Yeah.
All right. So the names are good.
Name's good.
So we're going to send the name up. We didn't find any conflicts with it, right?
No.
Looks
Well,
like,
I didn't find any anyway.
Pantheon and Brownwood both say no conflicts, so I'm going to trust that there are no conflicts. And we're going to send the name up. Moving on to the device. Vert, a stag tripent, and in chief 3 acorns ore.
I did an initial check, and I didn't see any conflicts when I did it originally.
The closest I found was Guinevere.
DC for changing type of secondary.
Yeah. We have the number and type of secondaries, but a mountain is singular by default, but still, I think that's going to give us 2. Because what we're looking at is vert, a stag at gaze, and a mount ore. We've got identical fields. There's no difference between triplet and passant. At gaze only involves head posture, and since we're dealing with a full animal, we don't give points for that. But we have a DC for changing the type of the secondary.
Well, what we also have is co-primaries versus a primary and a secondary charge group.
Right.
Yep, so you get one for removal of half of the primary charge
Yeah.
group,
Okay. That works.
and the second for type of secondary.
You mean for the mount?
For the yeah, the stag and the mount. You're right. They're both they're
They're
co-primary.
co-primary
Well, no,
in
wouldn't the mount
fast.
be secondary?
No, because it doesn't say in chief or in base. Or
Base, yeah.
listed. So
I'm sorry, I
stag
slipped
and
up
the
on that
mount
one.
would be
Yeah.
considered to have the
it-
same weight, and so they would be co-primary.
Isn't the mount just a base and bowed?
It
Not that
does
it
not
matters.
have to be in base. It generally is, but it does not have to
Mhm.
be.
Let me see here.
Given the way
It
that it is,
normally is. It normally is in base.
Oh yeah, it normally is.
Does anybody have a picture of it? Because I think that's what I was thinking about, was that it was a base.
registered
I mean,
in November of '98, so it's not going to be an Oscar.
No, it's not going to be an Oscar.
I
But
mean,
if
you
it's
still
got
get
a
the type of
mounted,
number, but
if
it
it's
just
got a mounted base, that's basically a peripheral secondary.
It's not listed as issuant from base. So
Okay.
right, but it's a mount,
It
not
could
mount.
be in base, but you're still removing that. You've got one for changing the secondary anyway.
Yeah, you get the
Yeah,
type of
that's
number. I just
one.
want to make sure that's not co-prime.
Yeah.
The way that the blazon is written, they would be co-primary.
Yes.
If it were a
Because
mount,
if it was secondary, it would be in base amount or.
Right,
Well,
and we don't, without the
Except-
picture, we have to
except-
assume the
Guys,
blazon
one
is
at a
correct.
time.
Except that amount tends to let's look in mistone under mount and see what it's got pictured, because I think it's pictured as being in base as opposed to a mountain.
It is.
yeah, it's the equivalent of a basin arch to chief.
Okay.
And if the mount is not issuant from base but cut off at the bottom, it must be blazon cooped.
Which this is not.
It's not.
Which means that this is a peripheral secondary charge.
Right. So it's still clear. It's just
It's still clear, but
Okay.
the old one is a secondary, not co-primary.
Right.
Okay.
All right. You're still good.
Yep. Number and type.
We will be ending that one up. Moving on to item number 17, also Michael Stagg. New badge. Fieldless, a stag triplet within and conjoined to a cartouche voided ore. Bert and Bronwyn both say no conflicts. Anyone else find any issues?
I was kind of surprised that I didn't find any, but I didn't.
I mean, I hate to be a pill.
No, go ahead.
Quite all right, Travis, go for it.
Can you void a cartouche?
It is a simple geometric shape.
Yes.
Right, but it's not the primary.
I mean, it would be the same as an annulet, which would be a
Right.
void.
It would conflict with an annulet if there was one.
Right, but an amulet.
I see what Travis is saying, though. He's saying, isn't a cartouche a solid charge rather than a
Not any
hollow
more
charge?
solid than a roundel is.
Or a mullet.
Or anything
you
else
can
that you can void.
Void a mullet. You can void a delf, which is a square.
Right, but you can only void primary charges, right?
No.
You sure?
Yes.
Well, if it is a voided cartouche, then that makes the stag tertiary, doesn't it? Or
no,
does
because it's conjoined to.
Yeah, within
right, it is. They could be co-primary.
Yes, that's what it is.
Wasn't there a thing recently about hexagons?
I
Hold on.
don't know.
Let me see if I can find it.
Thank you.
I may be wrong. I
So
don't know.
there's a point anyway from Senna that completely, I think, means you can't actually void the cartouche anyway. It says voiding inebriation, blah, blah, blah. Additionally, voided charges may not be registered in fieldless designs as they do not have a field that can show through the voided portion of the charge. So this badge is fieldless as stag tripment within and conjoined to a cartouche voided ore. We can't void it anyway because it's a fieldless badge. Per
That might have
Senna.
been what I was thinking.
So this would have to be changed to an annulet in order to go.
Yeah.
And that requires a whole different conflict check.
Yep,
Yeah.
because per Senna, it can't be done.
Okay, good catch, Travis.
Thanks.
I haven't seen very many things using cartouches like this, so we don't have a lot of cartouches registered.
And maybe you can get it. You talk to the submitter. Maybe you get it redrawn.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the heralds are checking furiously how they can fix this for the submitter.
Hey, I can just point out that you can't do it. I can point out that you can't do it. I don't know how to fix it yet.
Well, if it were an annulet within and conjoined to an annulet, stylistically,
An annulet would be fine.
It would work. We know it
Yeah.
would work. And there are a few other geometric charges that are in the same class as an annulet.
Yeah, I found the return I was looking for. It's October 2018. Locock was the bees within a hexagon. A bee within a hexagon. This badge is returned for using a voided charge on the field list. It cites Cena. It also says, were this a fielded badge, it would also be returned as the voided charge is not part of the primary charge group, which Cena A3C also forbids.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this would not work unless this is redrawn as an annulet.
Yeah,
basically.
I think so.
Yeah. Looking at Cena, exactly that section. Yeah.
Good catch, Travis.
Yes,
Thanks.
really.
And then?
Yeah, I think the difference between the annulet and, because you see a lot of things that are co-primary with an annulet that are fieldless. The difference being that
an annulet is
you can
voided
describe
by
an
nature.
annulet as a voided charge, but it's not a voided charge.
Right, it's
just
its own charge. Right.
I'm just doing a quick conflict check here.
So you have things like Delphs and some other.
Yeah, those are not actually voided charges.
No, they are.
They just they look like a voided charge, but they're not really a voided charge.
Annulets, mascles.
Yes. Loss.
Yeah, but mascle is a
mascle. Yeah.
Japanese well frame, I guess.
Yeah. There are a few that are in that particular category that are hollow charges but are not technically voided because they don't have an interior to void.
Right. So cursory conflict check. My very limited conflict check and suggests that if we make this an annulet, it should be clear of conflict. So I will contact the submitter and let them know the issue and ask them how they want to proceed.
All right, so penned.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Moving along to item number 18.
Owl's Nest.
Dire of Owl's Nest. Resub badge. Fieldless, an owl within and conjoined to an annulet ore.
Or what? That never
Yeah,
gets
that was returned because of the complex outline annulet that they originally wanted.
Correct.
Yep.
Stupid precedences.
It looked cool.
And then it was. Is this the same one that was submitted a while back and withdrawn?
That is correct, yes.
Yes.
Okay. I thought so. So Kurt and Bronwyn both say no conflicts found. Did anyone else find any issues with it? I'm going to guess that is a no.
Booming silence, yeah.
Okay, so we have fieldless and owl ore. So we get a DC for a fieldless bribe and a DC for adding the amulet.
correct.
Right?
Mhm.
Okay. So that is the closest one I am finding right now.
We don't have any fieldless and annulet ores, but do we? It wouldn't matter. We'd adding the owl would still give us 2 DCs.
So I think we are good. So we are going to send that one up.
Excellent.
Moving on to item number 19, Ronan of Axbridge. New name and new device. Starting off with the name. Ronan found in Annals, index from Irish Annals.
Mm-hmm.
Pantheon give us a little bit better
Summary, yeah.
or, yes, thank you. Summary of the documentation.
Thank you, Pantheon.
Mm-hmm.
So we are going. Did anyone find any issues with the name?
No, we've got the same Lingua Societatis switch from Axbridge to Axbridge that we had before.
Yep. All right, so the name is good. We'll send it up. Moving on to the device. Azure, a Dolphin Harient Argent on a Chief Ore 3 Bowen Crosses Sable.
I found no conflicts when I did my original search.
It looks like no conflicts from Kurt or Bronwyn, and
No.
Gerard's comment on Gerard's reply to Bronwyn's comment suggests that he didn't find anything either.
Mm-hmm.
So we are going to call that one good and send it along. Moving along to item number 20. Rhonda Serene, new name. Rhonda is mundane name allowance. Lynn and Serene are both family search. M-batch.
Mm-hmm.
Double given names for late period English.
The batch for Serene should be M0, not MO.
All right.
Please tell me that's Adelaide's cat.
That
It
was my
is.
stomach.
Mine is being really quiet right now.
What's your
So-
stomach?
Well,
We will.
I'm out in the living room, so she's here versus me hiding in another room and not there. So
Okay.
Mine are sleeping on Garb. I've had to train them to not sleep on Torch's tabard.
good.
Yes.
I've never
We're
been
gonna-
able to figure out what it is that white or light cats always want to lay on dark fabric, and
And
dark
by-
cats always want to lay on light fabric.
My black and gray cats want to lie on Torch's tabard.
Put it in a plastic bag and then they can't do that.
That is exactly what I've done.
Yeah.
All right, so we are going to fix the batch for Serene.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like no issues. Pantheon confirms that given by name checks out for per Appendix A. So we should be good. No conflicts found. We're going to call that good and send it up.
Okay.
This next one's mine.
I gotta go get my popcorn for this one because I have a feeling Orc is gonna butcher the hell out of this name.
But
Zachariah Leschensky?
Leschinski.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
Very close. Congratulations.
I said Leschensky.
I know, that's what I was complimenting you on.
Are you sure you're a herald?
Well,
You've got to get a weird thing with the N going on there, but you're really close.
Now, see, I mentioned my cat, and she feels obligated to put in an appearance.
Well, of course.
I just happen to be pretty good with, Germanic and Slavic pronunciation.
No.
No way. I can't imagine why.
I mean, have you met me?
I know just enough Polish to be
for
dangerous.
the
So
last
yeah.
3.5 years, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So new name and new device. Start off with the name. So Poland, given name is found in Polish given names.
One of Walraven's articles.
Okay.
Is he still active? Oh, well.
And then the surname is dated to 1558 and 1569
Mm-hmm.
with the accent. And without the accent is dated to 1650.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just close enough.
1558 is well within period.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, 1650 is
Border. It's absolutely borderline.
Well, they use the accent, so
Yeah, they want the accent.
Okay.
Of course they do.
let me.
In regards to the first name, if the basically if they just want the craziest spelling of Zachary that they can get.
I don't know why she said she couldn't find that spelling in the document. Well, probably because she spelled it wrong.
Do they not love heralds?
Yeah, I don't know.
So
If
does
it appears how it's submitted, but It looks like she searched it with YIA, not YJA.
Uh-huh.
YJA is in there because I just looked it up like 2 seconds ago.
So the form
Yeah.
that's submitted is actually in the article.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Frida just
So-
missed it. Yeah. Okay.
Well, like I said, she might have searched on YIA, which is how she spelled it,
Uh-huh.
and it's in there as YJA.
So
How it's submitted.
here's my question. What is the time frame we're looking at for these names
For the article?
Yeah, in the Polish given names article. Walgreens article, because I'm not finding any dates. Because we need to make sure that the name elements are within the
Right.
time period.
Are you suggesting that the Old Testament and 1650 aren't within 300 years?
Well, since the Old Testament wasn't written in Polish, they just derived the name from the Old Testament.
Listen, if Polish was good enough for Jesus Christ, it's good enough for me. The king's Polish.
The article does not appear to have.
It doesn't have any dates to it. I mean, I don't think it's going to be an issue because it is a biblical name, and biblical names are good pretty much throughout. Period. But I just wanted to bring that up, just to ask.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything where he's saying what time range these names fall into.
Oh, wait a minute.
Let's see, I'm still looking.
Bibliography of Polish names and armory.
So
Okay, so this is taken from a bunch of different sources. 15th, 16th century, 13th through 18th century.
Okay, so it is later period.
And 10th to 15th century. So yeah, they're all later period.
Okay, then we should be good. All right. All right. Well, in that case, I think that the name is good. I mean, the docs check out.
Go.
So we're going to send the name up. Moving on to the device. Prevent sinister dovetailed, argent and ghouls, a wolf rampant conturny sable.
Mm-hmm. I see what Kurt's point is, because if the wolf were centered on the shield and were half on the ghouls and half on the argent, it would still be allowed.
Yeah.
So I think it is a forced move. It would be trickier, though, because then you would be concealing part of the line of division. But since this isn't a low contrast line of division, that wouldn't even be an issue. So I think the wolf would.
We have had devices like this come through in the past, and in the past, I think we have ruled that it is forced to one side.
Because if you don't blazon it as where it is, the default would be to put it right smack in the center. Looking at the blazon as it's written now. So yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Good call, Kurt.
Yes.
Did we have any conflicts with this?
I didn't find any. personally.
Okay. Just want to check one thing real quick here.
Yeah, I'm not seeing where anybody else checked. I know I didn't find any, but
Okay. Yeah, I was wanting to check something that is just blazoned per bend sinister a single charge.
mhm.
And I found Ulfar, let's see here, Stierkarson, registered in 2009. Per bend sinister argent and ghouls a winged wolf rampant conturning sable. And it is over the entirety. It's not forced
Yep.
to argent corner. So yes, we are going to go ahead and reblazon that.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right. Anyone? See, I think I already asked this. Anyone find any other issues with the device in general?
No, it seems to be well drawn. The dovetails are bold and
Yeah.
perfectly identifiable. The wolf is,
The wolf is straight from
from
Mistletoe.
Yeah.
All right.
I have no idea how that looks like a squirrel, but okay.
No, it doesn't look like a squirrel.
No.
All right, so we are going to call the device good and send both up.
Yay.
Cool. Yay.
Let's see here. I think, yes, this is the last item on the letter.
Okay.
Item number 22. Zain al-Munajima. New household name. House of Mittens.
Okay.
She was talking about this last night.
Alexander joins us at this time.
I completely forgot it was tonight.
Okay. House of Mittens. Sounds like a new NBC comedy.
Right, so there was a conversation going on in commentary about the use of mittens. Originally going to be in/house of by name.
Which apparently is what they did because they've documented Agnes Mittens to 1589.
Right. Pantheon, citing Alice's Simple Guide to Household Names, says to use a personal name for a household name, you need a full name, not just a by name/surname.
Were mittens the gloves? Period.
Iago pointed out we registered Fieldless a Sinister Mitten Bert in 2006.
Okay.
Documentation provided at the time supported the mitten as a period artifact, but didn't provide examples of its use in armory. And then Gerard posted a link, last paragraph under, we have mitten as a period charge
In Mist Home.
in
Yeah.
Mist Home.
Hold on. The March 2013 cover letter says House of X for House of Surname seems to have been used largely to refer to noble dynasties like House of Lancaster and House of York. That is a registrable pattern, at least according to the letter.
Okay.
And that's what I did the documentation based off of.
Okay, then we should be able to use it.
That's
So
cited
I
by
will-
Alice in section B.
Which cover letter was that again?
The October 2013. If
Okay.
you go to Alice's the link under section B, household names based on personal names, it quotes it, and it's got, we have documentation for the forming household names based on given names, surnames, or a person's full name, but it's House of X, not House X. That's what the letter address.
Right.
And that's why it's inform House of Mittens.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I will cite that, and I will also cite the using a heraldic charge, and cite that mitten is a period heraldic charge according to Mist Home.
That way we double down.
Yeah. So that way, if one of them, they can deal with the other one.
And
I would also-
unfortunately, this is not a time that an OED definition would work, because OED helps to show that it was a known item in period for armory, but you can't do that for household names. It has to be an actual charge in period.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could probably argue that it's listed in period and it follows the pattern of a heraldic charge, that you could make the case for it, but
Mm-hmm.
I think you might have to convince Reeve and Pelton
That has
of
been done several
Really?
times and it's always been shot down. So
To quote from Mist Home, finally there is the mitten, a knitted or nail-bound fingerless glove. The mitten is a period charge used in the crest of von Lenz, circa 1370, and in the arms of Folderer, mid-16th century. It follows the same conventions and defaults as gloves and gauntlets.
Excellent.
Yep.
There you go.
Woohoo!
That takes care of that.
So we have all of our bases covered.
Even a cute depiction. You see the art?
What's that?
You see the art on the on Mist Home? It's kind of cute.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's got little stitches up one side. All right. So we are going to call that good and send it up. And that brings us to the end of this month's letter.
Woohoo!
So thank you, everybody, for coming out and helping with commentary tonight.
No matter how long.
Even if we are late. No, not pointing any fingers.
I'm right here. Point.
I did forget to post it on the YouTube and on the Yahoo group that is about to go away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, somebody was trying our channel last night anyway. So.
Yeah, I was trying to make Zoom work on live stream with OBS, and I was having issues. They didn't quite get resolved, which is why we're just doing the meeting on Zoom, and then I'm going to upload the recording when I'm done.
Okay.
So thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. Next month's meeting is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, November 26th. So that is the Tuesday after Thanksgiving.
No, it's not. It's the Tuesday before Thanksgiving.
Before Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving's on the 28th.
Is it on the 28th?
The last one, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And my
For some
birthday.
reason, I had it in my head that it was on the 21st. I don't know why.
So, hey guys, it will probably be my very last meeting I'll attend, but I won't be Beacon officially then.
You know, you can still come to the meetings even if
I
you're not.
But I'm up voice herald, not a book herald.
Uh-huh.
You are a herald. Stop
A
it.
herald is a herald is a herald.
I,
If that doesn't count, I'm more of a voice herald than you are, and I helped start these things.
I got it.
There's no excuse not to show up.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
just going to
other
watch
than
them
I
spend
have something else to do, that's a valid excuse.
Oh, like
No, I have a husband that does not participate, and so my being at these every single month since I was reinstalled has been a bit of contention, but
yeah.
it's okay.
All right. So, additionally, I do believe that this is Kurt's last meeting as Cypher.
Great job, man.
He will be stepping down as Cypher at the end of the month and stepping up as Pennon on January 1st. So enjoy your 2-month break.
Uh-huh.
I didn't get to because we had a baby in that 2-month break.
And we were trying
Kurt,
to
we
give you
expect you to be
time.
here anyway.
I definitely will be. I couldn't miss it for the world.
Good man.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. You
Excellent job as Cypher.
Yes,
You have done an excellent job.
well done.
Beyond
What
competent.
Lucian will do.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
You mean apart from cause trouble?
Well,
Lucian?
Once
Bite
Kurt
your
knows
tongue.
how to actually do the job, I'll be.
yes. Kurt, when you can, please train your deputy ASAP.
Definitely will, yes.
All right.
And when we get a chance at some point in the next month or so, I'll run you through what you'll have to do as Pennon. There's really not a huge amount of stuff. Most of the stuff you've already learned from doing Cypher. It's basically just learning how to transfer the internal letter to an external letter. That's about it.
And if Ulrich can do it, I mean.
Yeah, if I can do it, a trained monkey can do it. So I have every
The other thing for Cypher to the new Cypher is to make sure that the everything gets changed over for the deposit, etc.
Do we need to stop recording?
Did you stop recording, Penny?
Probably should. All right, so thank you everybody for watching. Again, next month's meeting is tentatively scheduled for November 26th, and we will talk to you all then.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
And good night, everybody.
Everybody.
Good night.